You're listening to Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. Let's jump into cryptos first. We're going over to the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart. And as we look at what Bitcoin is up to, we've got an almost flat trend line here on the weekly chart. It's reflected on all three of our charts, the 195-minute, the 2-day, and the weekly chart. Now we had 2 weeks of down movement. You can see that spiking down volume there. And then, of course, things turned over with average volume heading up. Bitcoin isn't typically throwing dojis at us when things turn around. It's just a different kind of chart. But what we see happening here is, again, inching upwards. If we look at the high last week, we see it was $43,853. This week, it's about $300 lower, $43,515. So we're not hitting the high of last week. It is up for the day 1.36% as I record things for you. But again, as we look at volume, as we look at what the candlestick looks like, again, it could take off. We've seen Bitcoin start slow and build, so we will keep an eye on that. If you decided to throw your lot in with Bitcoin after this ranging volume on high, well, with this ranging low on high volume, that is okay. Follow it closely, and we'll see how things continue to proceed. Now, take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum down these last 2 weeks. It was down the most on that first week of the down move. It hit a low of 2165. Last week, 2234, so didn't hit that low. This week, even higher as far as the low goes. We have a doji. Now, we had high volume that week beginning the 22nd of January, lower than average volume last week. This week, it could range on up. So we'll keep an eye on Ethereum, see if indeed it's turning around like potentially Bitcoin is, or if it's going to, fail to push through on the 2-day chart. It's already pushed through on the half day, up 3.72% for the day. It could be turning around, so we'll keep an eye on it. If it dies on the vine, then of course you won't want to do that. So again, keep your practice trades open. Remember, we make our decisions on Friday. What's going on with Bitwise? That is the top 10 cryptocurrency index fund. It takes the top 10 cryptocurrencies, weights them as per market share, Bitcoin being the big dog there. We can see where this week on the 16th of January was a huge down week. The next week, a spinning top with some ranging down moves there, not anywhere near the volume, but average volume. Last week, average volume going up. This week, not reaching the high of last week yet. We'll see as things move along which way it is going. Had a nice up move, previously. But again, when this spinning top hit and that huge bottom occurred, can't even begin to explain that. Hard to follow, which of course makes it dangerous. That's where we are on our cryptocurrencies. We're now going to move over to commodities and then to currencies themselves. Let's look first at silver. Last week, silver had us a green spinning top, again, higher than average volume. And then this week, rolling back over, going down. May mean that's going to continue up a little bit for the day as I record this, 0.20%. But keep an eye on silver as we get to the end of the week, see if it's going to die again or if it's going to shutter to a stop, or stutter, and then move up. What about soybeans? Boy, since we saw soybeans hit their top mark there in mid to late November, mid-November, we saw in late November as things started to move down, and they just keep on keeping on going down. So again, remember, soybeans, feedstock. Humans eat soybeans. A lot of animals eat it. But again, telling you something about what's going on in the world economy, look at natural gas. Mild winter. We saw natural gas pop up in January and then roll back over. We also see right here, what does that mean? It means a split. 1 for 4. So again, as we look at what's going on with the Nat Gas Fund, we can of course see that it is continuing to move down. Not a bad thing, particularly if you use natural gas. Now, this is interesting. Oil tried to move up, started, green spinning top mid-January, popped up the week beginning January the 22nd. Last week, beginning the 29th of January, green spinning top. And then this week, down, although it's up for the day about 1%. Now, we are going to leave commodities and we are going to head off to currencies. And the first thing we're going to look at, British pound. The pound, again, started surging up in late October, moved up until the end of the year, and then down some, up some, down some, up some, down some. And then the first real down week was stronger candle down movement after this spinning top last week with all that volume. So again, if you don't trust what's going on with currencies right now, particularly the pound, I understand that, but we do see some negativity there, stronger negativity now. Now, you've seen negativity for a while with the euro. Popped up there at the end of the year and then started the year off, and it's been red ever since and accelerating down. Look at the Japanese yen. Everything popped up at the end of the year, didn't it? Then a spinning top with a little bit higher than average volume and just trundling down. Lastly, we'll take a look at the Aussie dollar. Again, same thing, popped up, rolled over, heading down. So as we look at the world economy, as we look at these, through these currencies, as we look at what's going on with several of these targeted commodities, and we see where things are going with cryptocurrencies, it gives us a good idea of sort of what's happening, uncertainty, things moving in various directions. It is a lot of fun to see what's going on in the real world. So I hope this is helpful to you. Hope these things you find interesting. You're doing some practice trading in. Again, use all the skills that you develop with us on a daily basis following our 5 charts. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.